Hey, you made it. Congratulations on making it through the gauntlet that is Valentine's Day in middle school. You have successfully dodged the onslaught of hormones bouncing around your hallways and made it safely to the other side. I'm so proud of you. To reward you, I've got 5 good things for teachers that will hopefully help you make it through the rest of the month, too. In this edition of 5 Good Things for Teachers, you'll find a pick a color, pick a book activity, a new deer and rap strategy from a recently released book, an opportunity to buy a Read Banned Books t-shirt, some of my favorite memes for teachers to give you a good little laugh, and then finally a story elements plus First Chapter Friday equals all sorts of goodness, activity, and opportunity. I'm so glad you're here to listen in to this episode. If you want to find any of the resources that I talk about in this episode, go ahead and look for the description box. There are tons of links waiting there for you. All right, here we go. Good thing number 1, pick a color, pick a book. I am so stinking excited about this new resource. Have you seen those posts on Instagram that prompt you to pick a color? And then when you swipe and your choice reveals an affirmation or maybe a tiny piece of wisdom? I use that idea as a template to create this pick a color, pick a book resource in the hopes that when implemented in class, it will lead your students to amazing book recommendations. Several sets of slides are in this resource, including genre, mood, books with sports, books with animals, novels in verse, graphic novels, if you liked it, then you'll love, and maybe my favorite set to ensnare a middle schooler, the I don't even like to read set. So here's how it works. There'll be a slide, there'll be 6 colors, and there'll be a genre or a mood listed for each one. And then you'll tell your students, pick a color. They'll pick one, you'll slide to the next slide, and boom, there will be several choices for them to check out, one for each color, prompting them to then check out that book. In the slides, I also have links for the First Chapter Friday read aloud videos and QR codes so that if you print these or if you let your students access them via their Chromebooks, they can then listen to the first chapter and dive right into that first book that they've selected. There are a dozen different ways you could implement this strategy. One of my favorite ideas is using it as an interactive bulletin board. Just print the slides, put one sheet on top of the other, and then let them pick and use their phones to access the first chapter read alouds. You could use it to create a browsing list before you head to the library. Also, the slides in this resource are editable and come with extra templates so that you can modify them for your students' tastes and interests, or you could even let them create their own. If you're having a little trouble following along, I get it. This is a super visual strategy. You might just need to see it in action, and therefore you can just click the link in the video description box to take a look at this for yourself. I'd recommend you work with your librarian to have these books ready to go for maximum reading recommendation magic. I have a full preview of the resource available on Teachers Pay Teachers, and it is only $3 and going to bring a whole lot of greatness to your classroom. So definitely check it out. Good thing number 2 is a new strategy called Dear and Rap, and it comes from a book called Just Read It. I ordered a copy of this book by Jared Amato immediately after seeing it. Okay, I'm lying. It came out yesterday. So I saved it on Instagram and then I ordered it on launch day, which was yesterday. And I can't wait for this book to arrive in my hands and in my mailbox because I am dying to see the other pieces of word nerd goodness that are inside. This sample that Jared posted on Instagram, again, you can see it in the visual email version, link in the description box. If this sample is any indication, it's going to be jam-packed with strategies that we can all use to elevate and engage our readers. So Jared recommends replacing DEAR with the read and rap framework. Okay, so we all know that DEAR stands for drop everything and read, and we're going to change it to read and then rap. And rap stands for write, reflect, analyze, and participate. Here's how it works. He suggests dedicating the first 10 to 20 minutes of every class period to independent reading. Before moving on to the next activity, we take a minute to rap about our reading. Okay, so what happens after the timer goes off and close our independent reading books? Our classroom comes alive as we engage in 5 to 10 minutes of authentic writing, reflection, analysis, conversation, and community building. Rap is where we dig into meaningful writing and analysis. where we review conflict and point of view and setting, where we review book reviews, alternate endings, author letters, where we craft sonnets and create beautiful one-pagers, where we appreciate authors' craft and gain inspiration for our own stories. This is a time where we learn once and for all the difference between a comma, a colon, and a semicolon, where we collaborate with classmates and engage in authentic conversations, where we reflect on our progress and set goals for the future. That sounds like pretty lofty goals that he has for this 5 to 10 minutes of authentic writing and conversation. Here's what this might look like according to Jared. On the front side of an index card, answer the following questions. Write your name, your book title, your point of view review, what point of view is your book written from, and how do you know? On the back side, try writing a haiku that demonstrates the understanding of your character and conflict in your current read. So we're getting into lots of different story elements in a quick activity. Here's the example, a couple example results that Jared's students came up with when asked to do this. So he asked them to then write it in a haiku. So one student says, 5 lost young people needing strength, courage, and hope. War is relentless. Another example, nothing but a street separating destined love, torn between 2 worlds. One more, there is no water, the government has collapsed. They have to survive. Again, this activity is just mind-blowing, and it's just one of many that I'm hoping is going to be in this book. I'll be sure to report back what I think about it once I've read the whole thing, but if this snippet is anything like the rest of the content, you're definitely going to want to get a copy, and I will put a link for purchasing it in the description box. Good thing number 3 is read banned books t-shirts. This is a direct quote from LeVar Burton's Facebook post from last fall. And it says, earlier this year, Move On launched their banned bookmobile, and it took it on a tour through 10 states, handing out banned books and mobilizing voters to defeat extremist politicians. And now the bookmobile is out once again to make even more stops across the country. But to defeat the extremist book bans, we need to sustain the fight. And that's why getting your special edition LeVar Burton Read Banned Books t-shirt and wearing it proudly is so important. And here's the best part. Instead of padding the bottom line of a big corporation, every cent made from these t-shirts will go directly toward funding Move On's work to fight against these bans and defeat extremist politicians in 2024. We want to build a world where everyone can thrive. So, it's an amazing t-shirt, one that you could wear easily to school on a Friday with your jeans or out in the weekend or in the summer, and it will do great work within our world and in the bookish community. So definitely grab one of those. Good thing number 4 might be a little bit hard to appreciate in the form of this audio version of the email because good thing number 4 are memes. It's ridiculous to think that memes can fix the world, but they can do a whole lot of good for my mood. Are you with me? Here are a few that lit up my world and my face this past month, and I hope they bring you a little bit of a mood boost too. I'm going to read you just the first one. The rest of them are so visual it won't make sense unless you head to the real newsletter and check it out. But this one will. It says, today a student asked me if a word needed a flying comma. He meant apostrophe, but I think I'm going to call them flying commas from now on just because it makes me smile. And finally, good thing number 5 is story elements plus first chapter Friday. One of my favorite things to teach students are story elements. I love thinking about the parts of a story like a puzzle, like pieces of a puzzle. And another favorite thing I love is effortlessly combining curriculum review in tandem with an already in place classroom practice, like, say, First Chapter Fridays. The 2024 First Chapter Friday pack includes a worksheet that I designed to practice your story elements while listening to a First Chapter Friday read aloud video. It's quick and it's easy, and it will help your students analyze and identify elements from that week's chosen book, all while enjoying a great story and practicing their note-taking skills. It is winning all the way around. If you don't already have the bundle or the 2024 pack yet, you can get either one via the links in the description box. And if you've already purchased the bundle before, head back to Teachers Pay Teachers, re-download it so you can grab access to this newly added resource. Alrighty, teacher friends, that's it for this edition. Stay well, spring is coming, and I hope to see you here again next time on my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd, for First Chapter Friday videos, teaching tips, direct instruction, brain breaks, and more. Happy reading!